All right. So hopefully we are live. I was hoping for J-Rock to join. Let me just let him know that I'm live. Okay, let's check the audio. Yeah, sounds good. YouTube audio sounds good. Let me pin the comment, pin message if anyone wants to join this video. Anyway, so this is going to be a reaction to a debate that Vegan Gains had a day ago with a person called Leo Venus. He's a doctor. And this is about animal rights. Let's listen and react.
All right, looks like we're live. So I am joined with Leo Venus. We are here to discuss some issues regarding animal rights. In particular, it's I think you know I mentioned to you that I had issues with the video you made recently. I believe the title was "Meat is not immoral." So
yeah, I think it was. I actually don't remember. I think it was yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah. So not only does the title of your video basically suggest something, but I think right at the very beginning you said something to the effect that vegans who claim meat is murder are hurting the animal rights movement because you believe meat is not murder, and you went into you made a few arguments as to why you believe that. So for everybody who hasn't seen the video, why don't you explain your reasoning behind that?
Well, my reasoning behind the last 3 videos I made, I've been very inactive on social media the last few years, and part of the reason for that is just I've kind of lost faith in kind of the good of social media. I feel like social media has its positive benefits like anything else. If you use it for learning, if you use it for connecting with people, there can definitely be a lot of beneficial things. But for myself, I felt that the balance or the totality of the impact of social media was more so negative than positive from my own observations. So I've kind of just slowly but surely moved myself away from the whole social media space. And one of the things that I realized is when hanging out with other people who I've met online,
I don't know why he has this introduction. I don't know. I don't know why he says all this. Okay, that's not relevant to our debate, so I'm just going to ignore it.
we seem to have some kind of beliefs that were over time becoming more and more different. And so I wanted to kind of, given the fact that social media is.
I mean, I think he wants to say that over time people get locked into their echo chambers and they start believing things and they're not exposed to other people's beliefs and um I don't know if social media causes this. I honestly don't know. I mean, I don't have an opinion about that right now.
A kind of distorting force, in my opinion, in terms of making people's opinions become more and more detached from reality because of the whole dynamic of surrounding yourself with people who believe the same thing as yourself, and not having the.
It could be. It could be, but it could be that you're more exposed. I mean, I roam the Discord servers. You know, I'm a traveling debater. I'll debate anyone about basically anything. So I would not be able to do this without social media. So
The kind of very important reality check of the real life people who disagree with you and who argue against you, right? Even though, of course, you can argue that there are a lot of people online who don't agree with veganism. But, a lot of these opinions are, in my view, in my experience, very extreme and very unrealistic. And so I wanted to, even though I still believe in a lot of the same core values as always, I wanted to kind of at least give an opinion as to some realistic mindsets that I think are maybe a little bit lost in the mainstream vegan community, at least online. Even though I've met a lot of vegans who agree with a lot of things I've said, online, at least it seems like there's a big consensus against all the opinions I stated. But I'm happy to discuss anything that came up, so feel free to pick and choose.
Well, yeah. So the first argument you made in your video was that eating meat is not murder, and you mentioned, which I thought was particularly problematic, you mentioned that murder is only something that human beings.
well, I mean, Vegan Gains would agree that eating meat is not murder. I mean, Vegan Gains eats forgot certain scallops or something. They have meat. They actually have brains. They have a lot of neurons, but he eats them. I don't know if he physically eats them, but he says that it is vegan to eat them. So he eats that. He I mean, eats. I don't know what he eats, but he said it's considered vegan. So there's no debate about that. So I don't see the issue. So the entire debate should be dismissed at this point. There is no disagreement. Um, I mean, there's many cases in which a vegan would consider, which vegan gains would agree that eating meat is vegan, is ethical, what he would call. For example, if you have roadkill, you accidentally kill an animal while driving, so Vegan Gains would agree that that animal, you should be able to eat it. I mean, you didn't kill it on purpose. Maybe you even tried to not kill it. But now that it's dead, there's no issue. There's nothing unethical about eating it and using its its skin for decoration and for clothes, for a coat, for gloves. And you can have an entire industry, and as far as I know, there is an entire industry based on roadkill leather and fur accessories. Um, and we can go through many, many cases. You can have a bear coming at you, trying to kill you, and you have no choice but killing it. Now that it's dead, you should be able to do whatever you want with it. Also, Vegan Gains wants to dispose of all carnivorous animals. So once you dispose of them, what are you going to do with the dead bodies? According to you, it's ethical to kill them, so you might as well eat them. So there's many, many cases. Now, also like a chicken eats bugs. So according to Vegan Gains, it's carnivorous. So you should be able to eat chickens. It doesn't, I mean, so so the entire premise of the debate, I don't see it. I don't understand this debate. And this is that is basically my position. I don't understand veganism. I think it is undefined. It's not a well-defined concept. I honestly don't know if I had to be the spokesperson of veganism, I would actually not know how to do my job. I don't know what veganism is. As far as I'm concerned, everyone is a vegan because we're all trying to avoid, except for a very few psychopaths, but in general, the tendency, the nature of men and women, of humanity, is to be nice to all creatures. Like people have dogs and cats and pets and enjoy their presence and their interaction. And even street animals, animals that live on the street. I mean, you can walk up to them and hug them and kiss them and enjoy it. So so everyone is a vegan. But as Vegan Gains eats many, many types of meat. So okay, so humanity eats many types of meat. Humanity in general does not eat dogs and cats, but we eat, we eat certain things. Okay, so there's the- these you there's no qualitative distinction between vegans and non-vegans. We're all the same. I don't see the distinction. Honestly, I don't see the distinction. So as far as I'm concerned, everyone is a vegan. Everyone is concerned with animal rights. I'm concerned with animal rights. When I see a cat, I'm concerned with its rights. I want it to have a good life. It gives me pleasure to look at the cat and knowing the cat is having a good day. So I'm concerned with animal rights. And I'm the most anti-vegan that I know currently in the history of this universe. So if the most anti-vegan person, me, I love animals and I care for them. So I don't see the distinction between vegans and non-vegans. Anyway, that's my opening remark, I guess.
Can do to another human being when a human being kills an animal, it's not murder. You're going by some legal definition. Again, like the idea behind veganism is to grant human rights to animals. So that seems antithetical. That sounds antithetical to the idea of veganism, where rather than again, the vegan position would be meat is murder. If you're paying for animals to be killed, you're paying for murder. You are.
This is a very, very important point that Vegan Gains is bringing up, that of human rights. So, what are human rights? Why do we give humans rights? Um, it's a good question. It's a good question. I mean, the term human rights, I think, um, You know what? I think I've made videos about this, so let's just continue listening. I'd rather not give my remarks. My commentary is more about how Leo Venus should. I wanna impart my understanding of how to debate vegan gains. So I debated Vegan Gains Grandmaster. His name is Dr. Avi. I debated Dr. Avi, and another master of Vegan Gains is Ask Yourself. I debated both of them simultaneously, and I thoroughly wiped the floor with them. So much so that they run away from me. They refuse to debate me. By the way, so does Vegan Gains. Vegan Gains blocked me as soon as I invited him to debate me, apparently because of my precondition that he cannot use reductio ad absurdum. No, you cannot use reductio ad absurdum. You cannot call my position absurd. That's not an argument. If you have a problem with that, then fine. He banned me. He blocked me on his YouTube channel, and I've invited him many, many, many times on Discord to debate me. He runs away from me. That's fine. But his grandmaster, Dr. Avi, and his master, Ask Yourself, I wiped the floor clean with both of them very easily. It wasn't even a challenge. Unfortunately, I don't have access to the recording. That recording seems to exist, but maybe one day I'll get a hold of it. Anyway, so where were we? Let's just listen, I guess.
Are completely denying or rejecting the idea that animals should have those human rights and protections.
Yeah, well, I guess the kind of the difference in opinion there comes from a difference in understanding of what veganism means, right? So I never believe that veganism means that meat is murder, or that animals should have the same rights as humans.
So you don't believe animals should have the same rights as humans?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Even when it comes to murder.
No, I think in general.
I mean, what does that mean? When you ask a person, you don't believe that animals should have the same rights, or what? Let me just take a sip of water. This is a very deep question. So when we're asked, I guess this is a legal question. Like, what is your position? Like, should I have a right? I mean, what is a right? I mean, which human right? I mean, there's right. Could you name a right? I don't even know. In this entire debate, I don't think they mentioned a single right. I would ask, what is a human rights? Is just some list, right? But what is a human right? What does it entail? What does it mean if I have a right? What rights do I have? I live my life. Does anyone give me anything? Like, I have a right to something? Do I have, I guess I have the right to breathe air because they're so, right? But that's not even, no one questions that. I have the right to drink water? No, I have to pay. When I go to the store, I buy water, so I pay for it. I don't have the right. I can't go to the store and claim I have the right to drink water. Or love. I don't have the right to have love, to be loved. I have to earn it. I have to find a woman and sacrifice and do acrobatics and learn game. I have to work so hard, and even then it's really difficult, and so it's not free. I don't have a right to that. I have a right to walk down the street. I guess that. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know it. Okay, fine. But that's me having to think up what is this debate all about. So they never cleared in this debate. They never cleared which animal rights, which human rights, what is a right. Give me an example. Let's discuss one example. I would say to Vegan Gains, give me your best example. Like, what is the most human right? Because I cannot think of actually a single right that we as humans have. A right to express ourselves? Not really. I mean, we can express ourselves only as long as it's popular. We can't really say things that are unpopular because society would frown upon us and maybe punish us. So we don't have the right to free speech. In the Constitution, we have the right to free speech, but if push comes to shove, you're going to end up spending a lot of money in court trying to defend yourself, and you might lose. And so that's not a right, and that's the First Amendment. That's like the most fundamental one: the right to free speech, the right to free thought. I mean, as long as you don't tell people what you're thinking, because maybe what you're thinking is not popular, so you don't want to get punished for that. So I don't think we have any rights. I think we live in a world. So I don't think we have human rights. I don't think human rights exist. So I don't seem to have any human rights. Unless what you mean is that we live in a society and there's this balance. I call it a balance of terror. There is a balance of terror between all humans. So you walk down the street, you don't kill anyone because then society would punish you for that. That's a balance of terror. That's why I walk down the street and I seem to have the right not to be murdered. But no one granted me that right. That existed a million years ago when we were barely human. So, or even then, humans didn't murder each other because if you murdered someone, you wouldn't get away with it. The family would avenge my death, and they have to because otherwise they would get wiped out. So there's this balance of terror. But a million years ago, we didn't have humans, so of course we didn't have human rights. No one had rights. I don't even think we were speaking. So animals don't kill each other. Again, I mean, this is a balance of terror. Once I saw a lion. What's the female lion? A lion. I forgot. Anyway, like a lioness. She was wounded, and as soon as the lion saw that she's beyond repair and she's not going to be able to stand up and walk away from the injury, they killed her and ate her because that's the most humane thing to do. It's completely understandable. I mean, if you would have left her dying, then rats would come and chew her up from the eyeballs first. Is that what you want for? Is that what she wants? Very unlikely. So the best. So like also in hunter gatherer society, when an old person cannot travel because hunter gatherers are nomads, they have to travel. So but old people at one point cannot travel, so what do? You can't just leave them there because wild animals will come and eat them, and that's the worst way to go. It could be the worst way to go, probably is the worst way to go. So it's expected that at one point someone, as you grow old and weak and you're starting to not be able to walk with the group, with the troop, you get whacked in the head and hopefully you go with one blow. And that's not out of malice. That's love. There's what's the alternative? They can't stay with the old person and not walk, and they cannot. There's no alternative. This is reality. So anyway, that's life. I mean, so okay, let's get back to. I'm just trying to put things in perspective. Okay, let's listen to this debate.
You know, I say veganism for me has always been a kind of a philosophy.
But it's obviously that's the answer to rights, to human rights. It's complicated. It's complicated. It's never not complicated. Vegan Gains wants to propose that no, it's really very simple. No, no, it's not. It's not very simple. It's not simple at all. It's complicated. It's not well defined. There's no mathematics, and but even mathematics is not so clear as I have discussed many, many, many times. Even 1 + 1 = 2 is not a clearly true statement, as I've proven many, many, many times. So obviously, human rights, meat is murder, murder. Let me just quiet down my phone. All these are not, these are not simple topics at all. It took me many years to figure this out, and I'm still figuring it out. And I'm always finding new complexities in the definitions, in the issues, in it's complicated, but that's the beauty. It's part of the beauty of this universe. It's part of the beauty of life. But Vegan Gains hates it. He hates the complexity. He cannot entertain the complexity, and he needs it to be simple, but it's not. And he's forcing his simple assumption on a complex world, and yeah, it's not. It doesn't have good results. I mean, anyway, let's continue.
Of kind of avoiding animal abuse or minimizing animal suffering, right? Now, there's a lot of kind of variations and details and that people can attribute to that animal suffering to animal abuse. Some people, like you, might say that any animal product or meat is murder and therefore animal abuse, whereas most of the human population obviously don't consider meat murder and don't consider killing an animal abuse. Rather, the actual treatment of those animals while they're alive, whether or not they suffer.
Right, and this is basically what he said. What Dr. Leo Venus said in his original video. He said the whole definition of what is ethical, it's the word ethical. I'll expand on what he said. So the word ethical is a word that evolved. It evolved to mean whatever it evolved to mean. No one engineered the word ethical, the word ethics. So the word ethics means whatever it means. It means whatever people think it means. And people think that it is ethical to not murder a human, but it is ethical to kill an animal and eat it. It's just the definition of the word. There's no absolute definition of a word. I mean, Vegan Gains would have to agree. There's no absolute definition of a word. A word is it's never clear to the absolute degree what the definition of a word is. It's basically unknowable. You cannot absolutely know the definition of a word. So let's continue.
Whether or not they're being tortured, whether or not they're being treated, in a way that causes an unnecessary amount of pain, is more perhaps central to animal abuse.
Right. So the word ethical, what is ethical, is it's up to the people. It's up to the people of the planet, basically, to define what is ethical. No single person defines it. No group defines it. This is something that evolves by itself. It has a life of its own. And that's what it evolved. That's what humanity, it's not just humanity. This is an interaction between animals and humans. It's some beautiful interaction, and the result of which is such that we humans in general, it's not an absolute, but in general, we don't kill each other. Sometimes we do, sometimes we do. And in general, we do kill animals. We don't kill in the West dogs and cats to eat them, but we kill cows in order to eat them, and chickens. And that is what evolved to be ethical. According to Vegan Gains, ethical is to eat scallops. Ethical is to eat roadkill. It's not ethical is to eat a carnivorous animal. ethical is to eat a chicken. And again, I don't see the distinction between vegan and non-vegan, but these guys are both vegan. So, but I don't even see the distinction in ethics. Vegan gains would have to agree that there is no distinction. What is the distinction? I honestly don't understand. Anyway, let's continue.
In a lot of people's minds. And so for me, myself, and for, like I said, a lot of vegans I've talked to before, it's not really the kind of animals should have the same rights as humans, or that meat is murder that is the central aspect of philosophy of veganism for them. It's just, okay, let's do some things that we can do.
Exactly. His definition is my definition. That's my intuition, what veganism is. Veganism is let's be nice to animals. So I'm nice to animals and I eat their flesh. You are nice to animals, you eat their flesh too. If under certain circumstances, we both eat their flesh. All of us agree that we can eat their flesh. It's maybe, we can iron out the differences between us, but these are details. In general, we both agree.
Do in our everyday life to avoid contributing to unnecessary animal suffering. So again, different ways of thinking about it. I definitely do not think, I think it's completely irrational and illogical to start giving the same human rights to animals, just because there's a huge difference in how.
I don't think we give humans rights. You could say that what are human rights is what evolved. That is how society evolved. We don't kill each other. If somebody kills someone, then immediately society reacts very, very swiftly and very, very painfully. I mean, the guy is going to be executed or put away. I mean, society, right? So that's not, it's not someone decreed human rights. That's just the way we evolved. That's probably right when two dogs start a fight. I mean, I think other dogs are going to get involved, and they're not going to let a pack of dogs is not going to let one crazy guy just start eating them up. If there's a guy that's attacking and eating them one by one, I mean, they're gonna, if he's like a leader or something, they're gonna say, okay, well, watch out. I mean, this guy's obviously a Looney Tune. Let's stay away from him. The dogs are gonna say this to each other, and this guy's gonna end up being alone, and then they're gonna all come and attack him, and then and that's basically how humanity works. I mean, maybe you can attack someone, kill them. Maybe you're big and strong, but sooner or later we're gonna gang up on you and we're gonna punish you for that. You're not, it's not a long-term good strategy for survival. So so that's that's dog rights. So the dogs, they had this convention where they wrote the dogs' rights, and no, this never happened. This is just the way the systems evolved. That's the optimal, that's the optimum. Evolution is always seeking local optima, I guess. So the current system that we have includes all these local optima where humans seem to give human rights. It's, I mean, that's just a shorthand of the evolution of how human and animal societies live with each other, live by themselves and with each other, and so on.
We live naturally, how we think, how we treat each other, and just, it would make no sense, I think, if you go past the very superficial base level of, the very noble and good thought of, yeah, everybody should have the same rights. Once you start.
Right. It's very childish to just say, yeah, everybody should have the same rights, right? But hold on, let me take a sip of water. Mm-hmm. All right.
Going a few layers deeper, it makes no sense in the world to have all animals and humans having the same rights. It just falls apart very quickly in my mind. I'm happy to go into that.
Yeah, sure. So I'm sure you're familiar with the name the trait argument.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can you name the trait that's lacking in animals but lacking?
All right. So name the trait. So after Dr. Leo explained all that, he basically destroyed name the trait. Let me explain name the trait, or maybe he'll explain it and then we'll discuss it. But I'll preface it by saying everything Dr. Leo said destroys the premise on which name the trait um, lives. Oh, ask yourself. I see Ask Yourself was there. Hey, Ask Yourself, why don't you come and debate me? Why do you keep running away from me, Mr. Super Logician? Come to me, Ask Yourself. Come so that I can wipe the floor again with you and your master, Dr. Avi. I can debate all three of you, Dr. Avi, Ask Yourself, and Vegan Gain simultaneously and wipe the floor clean with you. Anyway, now name the trait. So Vegan Gains thinks he has the winning strategy. Okay, let's listen in and then we'll react to name the trait.
Human beings would justify taking away human rights from human beings?
Yeah, so that's something
Okay, so let's listen to it again. This is kind of important.
that just falls apart very quickly in my mind. I'm happy to go into that. Go on.
Yeah, sure. So I'm sure you're familiar with the name the trait argument.
Yeah, absolutely.
So can you name the trait that's lacking in animals?
Can you name the trait? So Vegan Gains, after all that, says name the trait as if there is a trait. This is an assumption. Name the trait, right? Okay, name the trait that is lacking in animals that if we would give it to the animal, then you would give the animal the rights of a human, right?
But if lacking in human beings would justify taking away human rights from human beings?
Or something like that. So, well, the answer is if you take a cow and you convert it into a human so that it is indistinguishable from a human, then I guess most humans, if they didn't know any better, would treat it like a human, right? You would have to do plastic surgery. I mean, it's basically plastic surgery. It's a lot of surgery to convert the cow into a human. I think the brain would be too big, so you'd need to dispose of some of the brain. But if you know brain science to such, I mean, this will be possible in the future. It will be possible to take a cow and do surgery on it and convert it into a human. It's, at the end of the day, we are all just biological robots. We're just biological machines. So obviously, to turn a cow physically into a human, that's not difficult. The difficulty is with the brain that you would have to remove some parts or shrink it somehow proportionally and rewire some parts, I guess. And you would end up with a human, but it would still have the memories of being born as a cow. So that's not a human. You would have to deal with the memories and maybe erase them or reshape them so that the cow would think that in its childhood it was a human baby, so that in polite society, when they ask, oh, so where are you from, where were you born and stuff, it's not going to say, well, I used to be a cow. Because once you say that, all right, so I'm not sure most humans would treat you as a human. Now, but the reason we treat each other nice is because we treat each other nice. I treat you nice because you treat me nice. I don't murder you because you don't murder me. If you start murdering me, I'll murder you. So if a cow would be converted into a human and would behave like us, it would be nice. It wouldn't start murdering people. It wouldn't gore people. Like if there's, let's say you turn an ox into a human and it still would retain its instinct to gore. So such a human, people wouldn't like that human, so they would not give that human the normal rights that we give most humans, because this guy gores people. He runs and he tries to attack people with his forehead or something. So you would need to remove that instinct. Anyway, at the end of the day, if you convert a cow into a human, We humans, I would not want to eat that human or that cow. I would consider that to be a normal human. Normal. It's a little bit weird, but I would not. My instincts would be to not kill it and eat it, uh, because now it's a member of society, and the way society evolved is such that we humans don't eat each other, but we do eat cows. But if a cow is converted into a human, then right, no, I at that point I would not kill it and eat it. And if I would, I think society would punish me because they would say, "What do you mean? This is one. He's one of us now. He's one of us now." It's like you cannot do that. That's it would break down society because if you do it to him, now you're gonna do it to who knows what. No, no, no. So let this cow let this cow turned into human. Let him live among us. Now, if you take a human, convert them into a cow, I don't know if most people would eat it. I don't know. I mean, what if now it got mixed in with a huge herd and there was no way you could tell which is which one? One of these cows used to be a human. There's no way you can tell because you removed the memories of the cow. I mean, you completely converted the human into a cow. And now there is a cow. There's like a billion cows in front of you. It's uncountable number. And one of them used to be a human. There's no way you can tell. Absolutely no way you can tell. You modified the blood corpuscles. You modified everything. With the DNA, obviously, you had to modify the DNA of each cell, which is that's a lot of work. But let's say you did it. There's no way you can tell now. So now and now let's pose it to act to vegan gains. Now let's say you drive your car and you hit a cow, one of these billion cows. You hit it. Did you just kill a human? Now you claim that it's okay to. I mean, vegan games would probably say it's if you hit a human, it would be just as fine to use its body to eat it and use its skin to wear. Uh, I mean, that's a separate discussion. Like we humans don't do that. We don't allow for that. That's we society would frown upon that. The body, the skin that you'd be wearing actually belongs to the family. The family would want to bury every blood droplet of the person that died. So you're not allowed to hold on to it. Hold on, let me take a sip of water. How long have we been doing this? 38 minutes. Okay. But I hope I'm getting the message across. But soon obviously this is going to take way too long if I keep doing this. But I want to get to the point where Leo gave the wrong answers and basically lost the debate. Leo basically lost the debate. I would say basically, not completely. I mean, um, Vegan Gains basically won. Um, um, but I want to show the parts where Leo got it wrong, and that's why he lost. So let's continue.
Yeah. So
But at least now we understand name the trait, right? Name the trait is obviously ridiculous. I don't know if it's ridiculous. I'll take it back. I wouldn't say it's ridiculous, but it's not a trait, right? It's a whole story. If you convert a cow into a human, then it's basically a human. And if you convert a human into a cow, then it's basically a cow. And there's a spectrum. The more you convert a cow into a human, the more human we're going to treat it. Like if suddenly you have a cow that is a super genius, I don't think anyone is going to kill it and eat it. I don't think if a cow starts talking, I don't think anyone is going to eat it. People are going, I mean, whoever owns it is going to make a bundle. But let's say this cow actually has a very, high consciousness, and it's really smart, and it's very eloquent, and it teaches, and it has courses, and people come to it to listen. It gives advice. At one point, it's going to earn obviously it's going to earn its freedom. It's going to tell its master, listen, I can make you a bundle. Let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. I'll make you a bundle in Wall Street, and you'll set me free. I'll make you $1 billion, and you'll set me free. Now, legally, it's going to be very difficult, but it's gonna be very difficult to legally work this out if we had such a cow that was born with this amazing mutation that it had off the chart. Let's say it had off the chart IQ, that it could resolve all the all the problems we have with quantum physics and everything. It just resolves all the problems, and it has the solution to cancer. It's just a super duper genius, and it's really nice. And so I don't think anyone is going to ever want to kill it. And if you ever, and I think it's going to get super protected. I mean, everyone is going to protect it because this is going to be a treasure. This cow is going to be the treasure of humanity. This cow is going to live in a castle that's completely protected with the best security systems because humanity is going to cherish this cow, even though it looks like a cow, but because it's so productive for humanity. It's so good for humanity to have this cow living its best life. So, right, at the end of the day, it's practical, right? At the end of the day, ethics is just practical. It's just a local optimum. It's just the optimal way of life. It's just the optimal life we can live. I wouldn't want to kill that cow, that genius cow. What? Because why would I want to kill it? Humanity thrives because of this cow. Why would I ever want to kill it? It doesn't make any sense. I would want to protect it. That makes more sense. But at the end of the day, it's all about what makes sense to me. What is the optimum for me? And everyone asks themselves the same question. This is my philosophy. Hold on, I have a guest of amoral. Oh, J Rock, finally. Of amoral egoism. Hey, J
Hey,
Rock.
slave.
Hey, man. You want to?
So
What's
are you
up?
gonna
Mhm.
so are you gonna react to the entire 1 hour 30-minute video?
Not likely. I wish, but it would take a very long time. But I'm
You
just trying to get the. My hope is that for Leo Venus to listen to this video, and maybe he'll contact me, and I could have a discussion with him, and I can explain to him how to better debate Vegan Gains, because Vegan Gains would not debate me. Vegan Gains runs away from me, as we I have a video dedicated to that. So I can train Leo Venus to thoroughly eviscerate Vegan Gains off the map. So that's my hope. So
um
going through the entire video, I wish I it's going to take a really long time because it's really very deep. It's a very deep discussion, and Leo made clear mistakes, and I can point them out. But yeah, so that's it.
you
What else? What do you want to say?
no, I think you should go for it and aim to react to the entire thing if you're gonna react to it.
That it's going to
But
be across many, many videos. It's going to take a long time, which I don't have a problem with, but it usually becomes extremely boring at one point, and repetitive. But maybe it's good for me to be repetitive because then people will absorb the lessons. I mean, there's very deep lessons in my reaction. So maybe it's good for me to repeat myself because this will help a lot of people. This is not just for veganism. This is for improving your life. This has to do with living your best life.
Okay, because I forgot
What?
what I was gonna say. So who's the guy? I don't think I've seen their face. Who's the guy on the right?
Hmm. Sorry. The guy on the right is a very famous YouTuber. His name is Vegan Gains. Actually,
Oh,
his name is Richard Vegan Gains. He's a vegan. Like, do you know what a vegan is?
yeah, and you're against vegans.
Yes, I'm against vegans. They're both vegans. The guy on the left is a vegan too. They're both vegans. I'm not against vegans. I'm against veganism. Uh, I'm just against vegan. I think veganism is maybe the most destructive and dangerous thing to come across humanity. It's terrible. Veganism is absolutely terrible. I mean, this can bring down humanity.
Okay, hey, Mr. Slave, can I give you an idea of another place to stream and find people to talk to and maybe debate them?
Yeah, sure.
You should sign up for a Meet Me account. It's free, and you can just go on people's streams and panels.
Okay. So we should do that. Wait, you have a link? You have a link to that?
Yeah, here I'll just type. I'll put it in the private chat.
Okay. Private chat. While you type, let me continue maybe playing a little bit of the debate.
That's something I mentioned in my video as well, actually, because obviously after being vegan over 10 years, I've heard this argument a million times. And I think the problem or the thing that I pointed out, which is why it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, is because they're,
Well,
the
it should
debate
make sense to you.
itself
You're a
is-
medical doctor. You're pretty smart. So we're not talking about activism.
Oh, I appreciate it.
I don't know why Vegan Gains just interrupted him in the middle of his thought. Usually when someone interrupts, it's a hint that he knows he has a weakness. Because if you come from a position of strength, if you are convinced, then you'll be silent. You don't need to talk. So this is now NTT. This is name the trait. This is the crux. This is what it, I mean, this is Vegan Gains' big cannon. When he pulls it out, I mean, this is difficult to deal with. This is not simple. But as Leo is answering, Vegan Gains wouldn't let him think, which is weird, which means Vegan Gains knows there are issues with NTT, with Name the Trait. Let's listen. J-Rock? Oh, there it
Yes.
is. Meetme.com? That's interesting. I guess we can click it. What would happen if I click it? Open a new tab. Let me not share this with the universe yet. Log in with Facebook.
Or email address.
I can use my Facebook. I think I have Facebook as Mr. Slave. I think I have
Okay.
Facebook. I never use it. Oh, I'm not logged into my Facebook from this browser. That's not good. Maybe we should do this offline the first time. So, you think you should do it with the email? Maybe we'll log in with the email.
Yeah, you should. You're Mr.
What is my
Slave.
email? Mr. Slave, I think it's 41B.
Or
What is it?
I thought your email was humiliated boy toy.
Something like that. That's another email, but I have the. hold on. Let me log into both of them offline. 1 second. 1 second, please. Oh, it needs to confirm from my other device. 1 second, please. Please, 1 second. There we go. Yes, it's me. It's me. Now let's try opening another the other account, which is I need to add. Forget it. It's too much. I don't want to get distracted. Too much distracted during the stream. Because I want to dedicate the stream to this debate, and it's
All
going to
right,
be
sounds
so
good.
long.
Maybe after we go off, maybe after you go off the air, maybe we could try it privately when we're not on the air.
Yeah, sure. Of
All right.
course, of course.
All right, continue your reacting.
Right, because you actually, oh, I need to become a member first. I need to create a new, there's no link to creating a new user. There's member login, but you cannot register with an email. It doesn't let me there's no register button. Are you aware of that?
There should be, because I
There
use my
isn't.
email to register.
There's no register button. You do member login, forgot password. Should I do forgot password?
Wait, are you on the Meet Me website?
Yeah.
No, you should just here. Let me get my other phone so I can see what.
No, forget it. No. Let's continue reacting. I don't want to get distracted. It's
right.
not for now. We'll do it offline together, and we'll figure it out.
All right, sounds good.
Let me shut it down for now. Okay. So are you going to stay and listen and react with me?
Yeah, as long as I can. But if I so if I mute myself, it means that if I mute myself, it means that I'm either giving my son a shower, putting him to bed. But I do plan on listening in the background. And when you go off the air, I'll come back and I'll guide you how to use Meet Me. But for now, yeah, I mean, until I mute myself, I'll be talking.
Excellent. All right, so let's continue listening. So let's see where we were.
The compliment, Richard. But the point I was trying to make is that there are inherent differences between human beings and animals.
So Leo says there are inherent differences between human beings and animals. I don't even think you need to say the word inherent. It's just there's difference between humans and animals. When you walk down the street, you see a human, you know it's a human. You see an animal, you know it's an animal. Inherent or not, I mean, it's visible differences. So we humans treat humans as humans as long as we behave normally. Like if we misbehave, then we don't get treated like we might get treated worse than an animal, right? If I would start misbehaving towards humans and maybe even towards animals, humanity might start behaving towards me worse than towards animals. So you could say that the answer is name the trait. If I misbehave, it's enough for me to misbehave. Name the trait. Like a dog walking down the street and is nice to everyone, no one is gonna kill it. But if I walk down the street and I start harassing people, I'm gonna get arrested and I'm gonna get punished worse than the dog. So name the trait. I could say behavior. And that's basically the problem. The problem is that dogs sometimes bite. So we cannot give. It doesn't make sense to give dogs human rights because we cannot rely on dogs the way we rely on humans. I mean, some people treat their dogs better than they treat strangers. So you could say that dogs have preferential, dogs have more rights. So name the trait. Name the trait that if I take away, that if I change, like, why am I treating my dog so nicely, but I don't treat homeless? Like even Richard, Vegan Gains, he has pets in his house that he treats nicer than he treats me, right? He's never given me food, but he's given his animals food. So he's given his animals more rights than he's given me. So he didn't give me, he's never given me, I would say, any human rights, but he's given his animals plenty of rights. So name the trait, Richard. Why do you do that? Name the trait. Well, Richard would say, well, if we converted Mr. Slave into a puppy, then Richard might choose to adopt, adopt the puppy. But even that's not sure because Richard doesn't have any room in his house. He can't, even if he wants to adopt another puppy, he might not have room for that. So name the trait. Why do you refuse to adopt this puppy over that puppy? Name the trait. Well, this puppy is just nicer. It's been here longer, so I'm already used to it. Yeah, but name the trait. Yeah, it's been here longer. That's a trait. I'm already accustomed to it. Even if this puppy is not the nicest, but I I don't feel comfortable. It's just I just don't. That's the trait. Here, I mean the name the trait is it's not it's what does that mean? Name the trait. Just because you give your argument a title doesn't make it more powerful. Like why are you nicer? Why are you, Richard, nicer to your puppy than you are to a homeless guy? Name the trait. I don't doesn't mean you don't need to name the trait. You can just tell the story. I love my puppy and I have no emotional attachment to a strange homeless guy. And I can never entertain having a homeless guy living on my carpet and cuddling with it the way I can with my puppy. With my puppy, it's natural to hug it and kiss it. But with a homeless guy, I would never be able to hug it and kiss it. Ever. So, what do you mean name the trait? Name the trait. No, what do you mean? What's the trait? I mean, I'm not judging the homeless guy, and I'm not judging the puppy. It's just me. I enjoy cuddling with a puppy, and I abhor cuddling with a guy. That's just me. That's it. Just you could say that it doesn't matter whatever trait the homeless guy you could give and take away from the homeless guy. I would never cuddle with it ever, unless you could say maybe if the homeless guy gave me $1 billion, I would entertain cuddling with it. It would be very painful, but I'm willing to do it. But with the puppy doesn't need to give me anything for me to want to cuddle with it. I just I it's I'm a machine that's been pre-programmed to want to cuddle with a puppy. And I'm a machine that's been pre-programmed to want to stay away from cuddling with a guy, homeless or not. Certainly homeless, like they probably smell bad and but I'm not judging. This is not judging. This is but name the trait. I don't know how to react to the question name the trait. There's nothing I can do for the homeless guy to make me want to cuddle with the homeless guy. So that's it. Unless you could say unless we convert the homeless guy into a puppy through advanced medical engineering. And even then, I don't know if I would feel so comfortable knowing that this puppy used to be a homeless guy. I don't know. I mean, I would feel uncomfortable. It would be really uncomfortable. I would not be comfortable with that puppy. I'm sorry. And if we would convert a puppy into a homeless guy, then I wouldn't want to cuddle with the puppy turned into a homeless guy, because now it's a homeless guy. I don't want to cuddle with a homeless guy, even though it used to be a puppy. Name the trait. What do you mean name the trait? I just told you the story. You name the trait. It's many things. The puppy needs to have fur. Oh, what if the puppy doesn't have fur? Well, it's okay. I'll deal with it. The puppy needs to be tiny. So, it's what I've been pre-programmed to enjoy. Name the trait that if you took away from vanilla ice cream, you would hate it as much as you hate chocolate ice cream. Name the trait. Name the trait. I don't have an answer to that. That's vanilla ice cream. That's chocolate ice cream. I mean, they're both ice cream, so they're both not so bad. I mean, chocolate is not the worst thing in the world, chocolate ice cream, but vanilla ice cream, I mean, that's heaven. How can you compare? But name the trait. Name the trait. I don't know what to do with you. Name the trait. It's like that's it. So anyway, let's continue listening.
They're not humans. That's the point. The whole argument is based.
Exactly. They're not humans. That's it. That basically ends name the trait. That's it. They're not humans. Name the trait that's lacking in a cow, that you don't treat it like a human. It's not a human. That's the beginning, the middle, and the end of it. That's it. Yeah, but why? It's many things. It's many, 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 many things. If you can convert a cow into a human, so we discussed it, I would treat it like a human. Yeah. And if you convert a human into a cow, I would treat it like a cow. It's not just me, it's everyone. It's not something about me. This is nothing me. This is how humanity behaves.
On the principle of there should be equality between.
Hey, Slave.
J-Rock, yeah.
Okay, I was just gonna give you a friendly reminder that you're past the 1 hour mark, and I know you usually stream no more than an hour and a half max. So I don't know how long you're planning on going, but you passed the 1 hour mark.
Yeah, but you're here, and this is a very important topic, and I've waited for you for 24. Wait, when did we start talking about doing this? Like a day ago, right?
Something like that.
Yeah, so finally you're here. I don't want to lose you. Until when can you be here? That's the question. Are you limited? Because for you it's like Friday night, right?
No, not limited. I was supposed, yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that if you were gonna keep it to your 1 hour format or not. So just
No, I mean it's the weekend, so we can go a bit longer.
oh,
And this
okay.
is, yeah, I mean as long as you're not dying from boredom, so we can continue.
All right,
But
carry on.
are you able to follow what I'm saying? Are you able to follow this debate? Do you have any
I'm
questions?
I'm 50% listening to you, and I'm 50% doing other stuff around,
Do you
over
have any
here at the house, and I have
Oh,
to, and when I'm talking to you, I have to go and, when I unmute myself, I'm in another room to talk to you, and when I mute myself, I'm where everyone else is at, the family's at.
oh. But do you have any questions? Do you want to ask anything about
Oh,
what you heard?
so you're saying that you would never cuddle with a homeless man, something? That's what I heard, unless you could turn that homeless man into a puppy.
Yeah, but even then, I wouldn't be comfortable. Like if you can convert, medically engineer a homeless guy into a puppy. Wait, do you like puppies?
Oh, who doesn't?
Exactly.
Oh, wait,
Would you
what if,
cuddle with?
Mr. Slave, what if it was a homeless woman?
Well, obviously, if it's a beautiful homeless woman, I would.
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, of course, I would cuddle with her. But we said guy.
Oh,
It's given that it's a guy. And even if it's a woman who went through transition, I would not be comfortable. I mean, I would not be comfortable cuddling with a woman who went through transition into a man, a trans man. I
Oh
would
yeah,
not be
definitely.
comfortable with a trans man. I'm sorry. So, I mean, unless, like, if the engineering is, the medical engineering is so advanced that I just cannot tell, then I guess, I mean, I would always be a little bit uncomfortable. But at one point, you could say, okay, you walk down the street, you see the most beautiful chick in the universe, just drop dead gorgeous. Now, you don't know. It could be that it's a trans man, but there's no way you could ever tell. Would you bang it? What's your answer? Are you thinking?
Well, yeah, so you're saying that if it was if it was a woman who transitioned into a man, obviously you don't want to cuddle with something that looks like a man, or is that
Exactly.
not what I heard?
Right, but what if it's a guy that was converted perfectly into the most beautiful chick in the universe? Just the ultimate chick, just the perfect, the
Okay,
ultimate
does
perfect.
she or does she not have a ding dong?
No, no, it's completely flattened into the most beautiful VJJ you could ever imagine.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you just can't tell.
But would you be comfortable? Would you be completely comfortable with that person? Would you enjoy it?
If
Would you
if
enjoy it completely?
if they didn't, if they told me that they used to be a man, then I'll
No,
be like,
let's say we modified their memories. They don't even know. They think they grew up as a
oh,
little girl.
yeah. Well, in that case, how are you supposed to tell? Like,
But it's you can tell. Yeah, I mean, it's just I mean, she has a driver's license, and you can see the old person.
oh
Yeah.
no. If they showed me their driver's license and I saw the old person, I'd be like, oh no, this can't do it.
But right now, she's the most beautiful woman in the world. Just naturally beautiful. No makeup, no plastic surgery, just beautiful. She was genetically modified. Every single cell in her body's DNA was modified to become a beautiful woman. Would you bang it?
Um, yeah, like I said, if I see someone on the street, hold on, I gotta mute myself.
Okay, okay, I'll continue listening. Okay, but it's a good discussion. Okay, but this shows you the problem with name the trait. But anyway, but Dr. Leo is giving the right answer. It's not a trait. It's many traits. It's the entire package. It's so many traits that okay, it's now a human. Let's continue.
between humans and other animals. But if you believe that there are inherent differences between humans and animals, then just saying that, well, if there's a trait that is the same, then you should be able to do in humans. No, because they are human, and that is the trait. So the fact that they're human
Okay.
makes a difference in and of itself.
Can you explain to me? Okay, so if you're going to say the trait is human, you've named the trait. Can you explain to me what you mean by human being?
I mean, of our species.
What do you mean? What's there to explain? I mean, okay, well, let's continue.
These Homo sapiens.
So
I can ask you actually, because this is a
so
very
it's genetics.
interesting thing to think about around veganism, because there's also the whole idea of speciesism.
So Dr. Leo should not bring up anything right now because right now you won. There's no need to bring anything up. You won. Now you made a winning move because you explained. It's it's the complete package. You gave a perfect answer. But now Vegan Gains, this is not his first rodeo, so he has a good question. Let's listen to his question.
That's another thing that I've.
Okay, so your definition of human being relies on genetics. So like species in particular, the like widely accepted.
Does it really? I mean, if we had a robot walking down the street behaving like a normal human, would we treat it as a human? I would say we would. let's say it would have emotions and everything. It would be nice and gentle and protective and smart and everything. Just another productive member of society. So, would we treat it, would we not give it human rights? Why not? Of course we would. I would. I think most people would. If we had a race of robots that would evolve side by side with us to be just like us, of course we would treat it just like us. I don't see why not. So it's nothing to do with genetics. It has to do with my optimum, with my optimal life. I want to have an optimal life. If there is a humanoid robot walking down the street that is good for me, then I would be good to it. End of story. Nothing to do with genetics. Is it good for me? That's the only question. Again, I am an amoral egoist, which means I believe all creatures in the universe are amoral egoists, which means every creature only asks themselves one question whenever they encounter another individual. They say, is this interaction good for me? Yes or no. If it's good for me, then I'll be good in the interaction. If the interaction is bad for me, I'll be bad. I'll walk away. I'll protect myself. Maybe I'll kill the other individual if I feel it's so bad for me. But at the end of the day, it only has to do with me. And this is the way every puppy behaves, and every human and everyone. Everyone behaves this way. This explains every behavior of every creature ever, including amoebas and including humans.
The definition of species is animals that can interbreed, produce viable offspring. You would go by.
No, it's nothing to do with the ability to breed. Like there's humans that walk down the street that cannot breed. Maybe they don't have sexual organs. They cannot interbreed. Has nothing to do with that. I don't care. If you're nice, if you're a nice person, I'll be nice to you. If you're a mean person, I'll be mean to you. I'll walk away from you, or stuff.
By that definition?
No, I would go by being not just viable offspring, because you have exceptions, right? You have different species that can breed and have viable offspring. But then
Well, no.
Exactly. There's expressions you can have that nothing to do with the ability to have offsprings.
No, that's not viable offspring. They would have to be able to reproduce. Like a mule can't reproduce. So,
okay, so that, the viable in my head means just that they're going to survive. But yes, that's what you mean. Then yeah, that would be my definition.
Okay, so being able to reproduce and your offspring being able to survive would be the definition.
No, and reproduce as well.
And reproduce?
I'm not talking about mules
Sure.
and the ligers or Tyons or whatever they're called.
Yeah, sure.
Just saying, yeah.
So if black people could,
right.
So if, say, black people or Jews couldn't reproduce with other races, they wouldn't be human beings.
Okay, so now Mr. Vegan Gains is bringing in very sensitive topics. So this is very worrisome. Why are you doing that? Right, as soon as you bring up these two groups, it's very difficult to continue the discussion, because now I'm afraid of expressing myself. Now this is very dangerous. I could be accused, I could be canceled. I don't need this. So at this point, I would tell Vegan Gains, let's not bring that up. If you bring that up, then I'm going to have to cordially have to dismiss myself, recuse myself from this debate. This is not something I can talk about. The way society is today is that there's repercussions for being in a discussion that brings up these words. So I would just walk away at this point. I'm sorry. You either retract your question so that we can continue, or I would have to recuse myself from this debate. It's up to you. If you want to, and I'm giving the explanation. These topics are just too dangerous for me. I'm sorry. If you want to claim that you won this debate, that's fine. Now, in my definition, winning a debate is changing my mind. If you want to claim that you won a debate against me, you have to prove that you changed my mind. Either I admit you changed my mind, or we do an MRI, an fMRI, and you can prove that you changed my mind. Um, so this is now why is Vegan Gains doing this? So I think it's because he knows at this point he lost. He made because Dr. Leo gave the most correct answer. He destroyed name the trait. So now Vegan Gains has to use logical fallacies like appeal to emotions and stuff. Let's ignore the two words that Vegan Gains just said. That let's listen again, but replace those words maybe with purple people instead. So let's listen to it again.
So if black people
continue
could,
generating
right,
information.
right.
So let's hear it as purple people. So if purple people.
So if, say, black people or Jews couldn't reproduce with other races, they wouldn't.
So if purple people could or could not reproduce. So again, as I said, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you can reproduce or cannot reproduce. I don't care. I only care, is it good for me? I walk down the street, I see a puppy, I hug it and kiss it because I enjoy it. If I see a good person that asks me for something, then I oblige, I'm nice to them. But if the person walking down the street seems to be aggressing on me, then I would defend myself and and not be nice to them. Obviously, I'll be nice, but I'll try to avoid them. Obviously, so it has nothing to do with the ability to reproduce. Absolutely nothing. I mean, you could say that if it's a beautiful chick and I can reproduce with her and have beautiful children, then I would appreciate interacting with her more than with a puppy. Yeah, but again, it has to do with my benefit. Hold on, let me take a sip of water. All right.
Be human beings, and therefore you would be against them having human rights.
We're going straight into hypothetical here, Richard. This is not.
Yeah, we're talking about.
Right. So Dr. Leo says it's a hypothetical. You don't have, obviously, a hypothetical is a obviously very powerful tool in order to have any discussion, right? I keep saying if I walk down the street, that's a hypothetical, and I meet a beautiful chick. These are hypotheticals. Obviously, you need to have hypotheticals. That's not the problem. The problem is not that Richard brought up hypotheticals. The problem is that there's no problem. The answer is it doesn't matter. We are amoral egoists, and our interactions with any individual or any group has to do with our self-benefit. Does it benefit me? If it benefits me to protect you, then I will protect you. I will risk my life to protect you because in the long run, this is the fabric of society. If I feel you will protect me, then I will protect you. And this is what binds the society and makes it a strong society. And then we have no fear. But so even self-sacrifice is explained by amoral egoism. But it has nothing to do. I wouldn't say nothing, but the ability when I meet a chick and she can reproduce with me and give me beautiful children, then yes, it's an advantage. She gets, obviously everyone wants to interact with her and be nice to her. That's as far as the ability to reproduce is concerned. If I see a guy that can reproduce, that's not an advantage. That's a disadvantage. Unless you'd say, yeah, he can have kids and they could be a very productive member of society, and society would flourish, and I would enjoy this flourishing of society. So yeah, I would. Yeah. So then his ability to reproduce is an advantage, and I would treat him a little bit nicer than a person who cannot reproduce. Then again, a person that cannot reproduce creates less of a demographic pressure, which means there's more room for everyone, given all things remain the same. So that's an advantage. So it's not clear if the ability to reproduce is an advantage vis-a-vis me for my interacting with that individual. All right, let's continue.
So, well, we're talking about ethical principles, and hypotheticals are the best, if not the only way, to
Yes, that's true. I mean, as soon as you tell a person that you refuse to answer a hypothetical, you should stop and say, okay, let me think about it. Let me think about it. You can say, you know what, I don't know. Yeah, it seems like yeah, somebody sometimes might bring a powerful hypothetical that confuses you. You can say, yeah, that really confuses me. I really need to think about it. So for now, just the fact that you made me think about it, that's a win because I didn't think about it. So you changed my mind. By you forcing me to think about something, that is a change of my mind. So feel free to declare victory at this point, and we can regroup and continue our discussion/debate at a future time. Maybe yes, maybe no. It doesn't matter. For now, you made me think. Thank you for making me think. That's terrific. And the hypothetical is good. The hypothetical about the purple people, would you give purple people the human rights based on whether they can reproduce with humans, yes or no? So, as I explained, yes, let's continue. I mean, as I explained, let's continue. Not yes, it depends. And you know, it's complicated. Let's continue. But it's not the be all and end all on which I base my giving someone human rights or rights, or I would just rephrase it if I'm nice to them. When I say give human rights, no, that's like a formal definition that I don't appreciate. I appreciate much more. Just am I nice to them or am I not nice to them? So let's continue.
really test principles. So again, your principle for taking away rights from animals is being in the species Homo sapien. If Jews and black people weren't of the species Homo sapien, you'd be in
Purple people,
favor of taking away their rights. You'd be okay with them.
Yeah, so we gave the answer already. Let's hear this Dr. Leo's response.
Would they Jews or black people, would they?
Well, no, they would be. They just wouldn't be able to reproduce with Homo sapiens.
Oh, then they would be Homo sapiens. So they wouldn't be.
Yes, they wouldn't be. They wouldn't be able to reproduce, and that.
Right. So he says, so I don't know why Richard brought up the purple people. If people can or cannot reproduce with Homo sapiens, it has the impact as we describe it. If it's a beautiful alien chick that cannot reproduce with me, I don't care. I don't care that she cannot reproduce with me but if I have to choose between her and a human chick or another alien chick that can reproduce with me and I can have beautiful children with her, then it's an advantage. I can always decide not to have the children, but the very fact that she is able to give me beautiful children, then that's an advantage. I would be maybe more attracted to her.
What was the principle that you said you base this principle on?
I find it very, very fascinating that we can, kind of use unrealistic, kind of imaginatory situations.
No, that's not the right answer. That's not the right answer. So this is where Leo is being, I would have to admit, dishonest. But no. But I guess he's under pressure, but it's not an excuse. If you need to think about something, you should say, you know what, hold on. I need to think about it. Wait, someone joining us? Oh, J-Rock.
Hey,
Oh, I didn't know you.
I accidentally exited the browser on my phone. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm thinking because I need to go make coffee and start my day. So maybe we should stop now. Or you tell me how you feeling with this You want to continue or you want to go?
Okay, I think you covered enough details. If you want, we can go off the air and I can teach you about how to make your Meet Me account and guide you on how to use the website for when you go live on the air.
Okay, but tell me, when is the next time? What?
I said, but before you go off the air, I'm gonna have to come back up. Yeah, because this phone is running low on battery. I'm gonna have to get on my second phone.
Okay, so
So
come
yeah,
back
I'll be
yeah,
back
I'm
again.
waiting. Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
come.
I'm waiting for you.
Okay.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Okay. So let's continue listening. So at this point, I would have to admit that Leo should say, yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Let me think about it. And go think about it. Does it What's the impact of the purple people? Let's call it aliens or just purple people. The purple people, can they reproduce with us? Can they not reproduce with us? Do I care about reproduction? Why would I care about reproduction? I mean, in this hypothetical, am I the last human, or is this normal? Is everything else the same except for there's now this group of purple people that cannot reproduce with us or can reproduce with us? Either way, it's the end all be all of any um, determination that I need to decide. Am I nice to someone? Hold on. Am I nice to someone or not? Are they nice to me? Is it good for me to be nice for them? To be nice to them? Hey, J-Rock. So you wanna finish and then we'll go off the air. But let me ask you before that, when is the next time you're available? Because I want to continue this as soon as possible.
Probably again tomorrow night around this time.
Oh, that's good, I guess. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. So you want to conclude the stream so we can go off the air?
Sure. That's been the Mr. Slave show today. There was no debate. There was just reacting to vegan games. It says their debate.
Right. Very good. All right, everyone. So hopefully we'll continue tomorrow and with J Rock. All right, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.